Okay, welcome everybody to our Power Half Hour for May 2016. It is just a delight to have everybody here this evening. And this is your half hour in the middle of the month to re-energize yourself, to refocus and gather your energies and your strength for the rest of the month. After talking with you, or a lot of you, on our Facebook event page, I got the sense that the theme for this month is self-healing, and in particular, healing from the hurt and the pain and disappointment that's brought on by interactions with other people and circumstances, or the way that people treat us, or the things that perhaps we expected to happen that didn't happen. So I want to just remind everyone that all of these exercises are self-healing exercises. Every single month you get some sort of an exercise or a meditation that you can use at any time. Really, you don't have to stop using it at the end of the month. It just happens that we do these in the middle of the month so that you can have a little pick-me-up to carry you through. But all of these exercises are self-healing, and they are designed to empower you to heal yourself. And as a few of you said, and I wholeheartedly resonate with this, all healing is self-healing. And if you can mobilize your energy from the inside and harness and align yourself with your inner wisdom and the energies that you have and your connection to the divine frequency, to the energies of support, seen and unseen in your life, then you have everything that you need in order to be able to heal any aspect of yourself or your life. So as I was reflecting on healing, self-healing, or healing the hurt and pain and disappointment that we often experience, I was reflecting on the root of pain and disappointment, and just thinking about, where does pain and disappointment come from, and why does it fester and turn into resentment? Or for those of you who are the human design projector energy type, you're familiar with that theme of bitterness when you get out of balance and misaligned. And even if you aren't familiar with human design, or your energy type is something different, you can probably relate to bitterness and resentment as that feeling that happens when pain and disappointment festers inside of you. So what I came up with as the root of pain and disappointment is, first of all, it festers into this resentment and bitterness and however you feel that deep pain from the history that leaves bruises in our emotional fabric, in our hearts, in our emotional energy systems, in the way that we feel about how we interact in the world. And as I meditated on that, I could almost feel or see like points where we get bruised, and they tend to be like points where we get triggered in the future, or in the now actually. And then we develop these expectations that our history will repeat itself in the future because of these bruises that haven't quite healed. So that's what we're going to focus on in this time that we have together. Now, there are two things that you can do to heal from the disappointments in your life, from the hurts in your life, and to begin to move on. And the first one is to let go of expectations. The expectations, the thoughts, the ideas about what these incidents mean to you. And then you can begin to neutralize that meaning, or neutralize that energy that you put into a meaning that may or may not be accurate. And you freed up all of that energy so that you can use it to create something different in the future. You free up your present moment awareness, and you bring back that energy, kind of like we did in April's get together, where we called back energy and defragmented ourselves. But this is freeing up that energy that was caught in the bruises in the fabric of our emotional body. And that way you have something to create from that's pure, clean energy. And the second thing that you can do is to recognize that you're resilient. And by resilient, I mean that you have the power to overcome the difficulties in your life. And I think for a lot of us, especially if we feel like we've been beat up by a circumstance or by people in our interactions with people in our lives, we come to this feeling that we don't have the power to actually make change. We're carrying all this stuff from our history into our present moment, and we don't realize that we can really let go of that and begin to move on, because we have the resilience within us. We have the ability to connect with the infinite stream of energy and support and love, or what I like to call the benevolent forces of the universe, and those around us who are also benevolent, to support us in moving forward in a new way. So tonight's exercise is going to be about letting go of the meaning and the expectations that keep us stuck in this thing where we're carrying the past into our present and creating the same thing in our future. And also, it's going to help us you're going to have some energy you're going to be able to call back some energy for yourself, so that you can really recognize and establish that you are resilient on the inside, and you're not just burdened by what got triggered by a disappointment in your life, but you actually have the power to let go of it and to shift your experience. So go ahead and get comfortable. And I have another place where I actually journaled this whole meditation, which I have to pull out my other notebook. And if you're in a place where you can close your eyes, go ahead and do that and relax. And we always begin by taking a few deep breaths. And we've been in this energy, at least a lot of us have been in this energy lately of old stuff coming up. We've been in a Mercury retrograde cycle. Actually, a lot of planets are in retrograde right now, for those of you who follow transits in the astrological transits. So we've been in this real review of a lot of aspects of our lives. And in that review, a lot of times old stuff comes up for healing. That's stuff that we continue to bring with us from our history and from our past. And it comes up to review and to heal and to let go. So you may be feeling, I know several of you mentioned this whole theme of disappointment and feeling a little bit bruised or hurt by interactions with other people. And if you're feeling that, or if that's been something that you have been experiencing the last few months, or even if you feel like you've felt that in the past, all of us have, I'm sure, have felt these bruises and emotional hurts, go ahead and just tap into that. Just relax, take a few deep breaths. And I want to lay out this metaphor that these bruises and these places where we get our buttons pushed are like, if you can imagine, places where we get poked with a hot poker or like with a branding iron, and that's why it feels like it's part of our identity when really it's not. So just imagine that sense of being poked with a hot poker and being bruised with those pokers, and feel where that is in your body. There's the metaphor of feeling like you've been punched in the gut, or the feeling perhaps in your heart. Sometimes there's a sense of shielding your heart or cutting your heart off so that you don't have to feel that anymore, or so that you don't have to open up. The flip side of that is that you don't have to open up to receiving more love. So if you feel like you're closed off in your heart, just tune into that. Or tune into wherever it is that you feel like you're vulnerable to these kinds of feelings of disappointment. And as you imagine these metaphorical bruises, go ahead and acknowledge those places where you feel bruised. Acknowledge them and recognize them with as much compassion as you possibly can. And it's okay to tell those bruised areas that you're here and you feel that pain or that discomfort. And it's okay to acknowledge that you hear and understand that pain has been there waiting to be acknowledged. That you don't have to defend against it anymore. You don't have to protect yourself anymore. And acknowledge that you're not going to let it define you anymore. That you're ready to let go of those buttons that were once so vulnerable to being pushed. And take 2 or 3 big, deep breaths. And allow the compassion that you have for the pain and the disappointment that you felt to just settle in. And now let's take our attention up to the crown of your head. For those of you who are familiar with the energy centers in human design or the 7-center Hindu chakra system, you can recognize this as your place of connection to divine guidance, to light and energy. And in human design, it's really where we're activated by the energy from the universal light streams, the neutrino streams that come through and inform us and activate our inner wisdom and our inner knowing. So just imagine that area opening up. I like to visualize it as a funnel. And as it opens up, it's opening up to that light energy, the light that comes through from universal sources. Just bring it on through that head center or that crown, down into your body, relaxing and breathing. Let that light just fill you up. Imagine that your heart center, or the place at the center of your chest, is a reservoir. And it's collecting all of that light, universal light energy, into that heart space. And anything that's left over pours into your arms and hands, down into your torso, your hips, your legs, your feet. It just moves right through you. At the same time, it's filling up that heart space. So this light and energy has the ability to heal you, to help you resolve that pain that you may be feeling, and also to inform you through the activation of your own inner wisdom of what physical actions need to happen to support your healing. So as you move this light through, move it into those points of pain and discomfort, those places, those bruises, those places of disappointment, those hot spot buttons that tend to get pushed. And feel it flowing through and over these areas like a balm that heals those bruises and those burns and that feeling of hurt and pain. And your breathing amplifies the movement of this light and energy over those areas of discomfort, over those hot spot buttons. So just breathe and keep moving that energy through and around you and into those places that really need that healing at this point. Now take your attention into that heart space, into your heart space. And as you do that, imagine that you're looking from the inside out of your body, that you're right in there and you're still in touch with those areas where this light and healing energy is moving through and over those hot spot buttons, those places of disappointment. But you're seeing them from the inside. And you're seeing where they are. And now you can actually move that light right out through those buttons. And as you move the light through the buttons, the bruises, the places where you feel bruised, this light is dissolving any expectations that led to disappointment. It's neutralizing any thoughts that you had about the disappointments and the pain in your life and in your experiences. And it's just pouring out of you like rays of sunshine through these places that used to be filled with pain and discomfort, through these places that you felt that you had to protect. So keep breathing and keep moving that light through you and out you, dissolving and resolving anything that remains that feels like pain. Now see this light as rays of love. And these rays of love coming out of you are helping you to shift your perceptions about what has happened, what in your history is there that no longer affects you. And as you move these rays of love out, they begin to neutralize everything in your environment that may have triggered you and triggered these hotspot buttons. And as these rays of light come out and they're affecting your environment, they're affecting the other people in your environment, recognize that there's only love. There is only love. And let that love continue to emanate from you through these rays of light and love. So from this place inside your heart, where you can see yourself radiant and powerful, reinforce to yourself 3 things. First of all, say to yourself, I am powerful. And then say, I am valuable. And affirm once and for all that I am resilient. No one can take these 3 things from you because they come from your connection with the infinite source and with your inner wisdom and your inner knowing. So from this place of power, value, and resilience, let the light that you bring through you inform you about the actions and the attitudes and the self-care practices that you must develop and have in order to maintain this position of empowerment, of value, of acknowledgement of your intrinsic value and of your resilience. And the answers to that may not come all at once. But just sit in that receptive place in your heart and allow yourself to be given what you need to know for now. And breathe, relaxing in the knowing that you got what you need. And when you're ready, if your eyes are closed, go ahead and open your eyes and come back into your physical surroundings. Ugh, I'm not quite sure where we are on time. But what I'm going to do is just open up the phone lines. And if you're ooh, does anybody else hear that echo? I think it's off now. So if you have background noise, go ahead and mute yourself out. But, you know, if anybody wants to share your experience, or if you have a question or something real quick that you would like to add, go right ahead.
Hi, Sandy. Alexander here.
Hi, Alexander. Good to see you.
Yeah, I thought I'd stop by and say hi.
Yay!
Well, I guess my biggest challenge is, you know, feeling the tension in my back. So like towards the end of the day at work, it's like I feel tension. I mean, even now, right now, I can feel the tension in my back. It's like really intense.
Mm. Were you able to, do you feel like you're able to get deep breaths?
Yeah, I can have deep breaths. I mean, breathing's not a problem.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Well, you know, tension in the back a lot of times has to do with, well, sometimes it's structural because that is our spine and all of that. But we tend to unconsciously hold things in our back that perhaps we're not ready to see or ready to deal with. And in the body, in my understanding of the body-mind connection, it's kind of like we subconsciously or unconsciously tense our muscles so that, you know, we're sort of bracing up against whatever it
Mhm.
is we're defending against. So, you know, slowly and surely, and I'm hoping if you go through this again and you get to the end where you can be receptive to what you need to know, some of those things will come to light as to what you can begin to release resistance around and relax into so that you don't feel like you have to defend yourself.
Yeah, I would get the answers soon because it's just, I mean,
They're inside of you. They're inside of you. And
mhm.
another thing, you know, coming from my body work background, the more that you can move, especially your spine in gentle ways, through
Yeah,
yoga or gentle stretching or anything, it mobilizes your nervous system so that you've got more synovial fluid in your spinal column, and you've got more circulation, and your nerves function better. And of course, nerves are part of that whole body-mind connection. So it's about getting connected to your inner wisdom through your body.
mm, okay, all
Yeah.
right. Thank
Yeah.
you.
It's so great to see you. So great to see your face. I'm loving this video thing because I get to see people's faces.
Yes.
Yes, and I think we've talked before about journaling and things like that. So, you know, the more self-reflection, you have everything inside of you to know what you need to know about your next steps. And I know that for you personally. I say that generally for everybody, but I know that for you personally, and it's just a matter of slowly opening up to that and trusting that you have the wisdom to move in the ways that you need to move in as is correct for you. So, you know, and that also involves moving the body and opening up to those things that you're bracing up against.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thanks for coming on.
Mm.
Does anybody else want to add anything or have anything else going on? I know we're coming to the end of our half hour here.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Hi, Amanda.
Hey, Sandy. If I have any questions, I can talk to you on Facebook.
Fabulous. Yeah, I'm always available on Facebook. So
Yeah.
please do. Please do.
'Cause this is all kind of new to me. So
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you made it. I'm glad you made it. And I'm going to be talking more in the future about energy and healing and self-healing and some of my perspective about that. And because I really want to empower each and every person who feels a resonance with joining us now or at a different time to understand and get connected to the own forces of the own magnificent, infinite, all-powerful force inside of yourself to make changes and to heal yourself. Because when each and every one of us heals ourselves, we've healed a tiny part of the world. And that has ripples, that sends ripples out through our world, and nobody is the same. Nobody that we know or don't know is the same when we take another step to align with ourselves, to align with our power and our empowerment. So definitely contact me on Facebook. You know, I'm kind of in the beginning of sharing some of this and melding a lot of things that I've practiced and taught over the years, and there's going to be more to come.
Good.
So thanks for coming on.
I listened to your April one earlier today.
Oh, great.
Defragmentation.
Yeah, yeah. Well, from what I know about you, I'm hoping that really helps.
Yeah. Yeah, I need that. Needed that.
And of course, any of these you can pull out and use at any time. You know, if there's something that resonates with you, just you know, take out all the talking before and after and just listen to that as like your daily meditation until you really integrate it and use it. So, and that's goes for everybody on the line and those in the future that are going to listen. So take what you need and use it as many times as you possibly can. Okay. Anyone else want to chime in? Or thank you, Judy, for your comment on chat. Appreciate your support. Okay. Well, if no one else has anything, we are at the end of our half hour. We take a few minutes at the beginning to make sure everyone gets on. So I want to thank everybody for showing up. It's always a slightly different crowd every single time, and then there are some that come every time. So I really appreciate that you're here on this adventure with me. And
okay, well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And more to come next month. Have a great month, everyone.
All right.
Thanks, Sandy.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.